I don't wanna say anything, cause if I do I might say the wrong words. Oh no. So I'll keep my mouth shut and not listen. Afraid I'd lose you if I didn't. Till we find what we're missing and compromise. So I'll keep my shoes on and not leaving. We're on thin ice, winter season. Can't wait for a single reason not to say goodbye. Oh, if I said what's on my mind, would you stay with me tonight? If I said what's on my mind, would that make you run and hide? Run and hide. Run and hide. If I said what's on my mind, would that make you run and hide? Would that make you run and hide? Run and hide. Run and hide. Oh, would that make you run and hide? Don't know what to do anymore. I'm out of options, nothing's working. I'm out of service. Come help me now, I'm fucking nervous. I'm trying but can't scratch the surface. So I'll keep my mouth shut and not listen. Afraid I'd lose you if I didn't. Till we find what we're missing and compromise. So I'll keep my shoes on and not leaving. We're on thin ice, winter season. Can't wait for a single reason not to say goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Mutton Chop Millionaire, Mortimer Blankenship III, the greatest mind in professional wrestling today. And I'm telling you, you are on the channel, the place to be. That's right, Cole TV, baby, and you can take that to the bank. Ha ha ha!
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pro Wrestling 60, where we're going to recap everything that's happened this past couple weeks in the world of professional wrestling. I'm Xlj the Og, joined by my brother from another mother, Mr. B-Row.
How are we doing out there, world? I think we got just a little bit to talk about this week.
Yeah, for the past couple weeks. Yes, tonight is a supersized episode, so the network's going to let us go a little bit over, so because they love us so much. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about. A couple huge events to talk about that's happened the past couple weeks, including last night. So that being said, let's get right back into it, and you hit us with that sweet, sweet line.
Yeah, so like if there's any yawning, it's probably due to a Sunday night pay-per-view.
No
you know?
shit, right? Yeah.
But without further ado, this is P-Dub to the 60. I think it's time to start the clock. The clock starts now.
Yes, indeed. And yep, we're going to talk about it. Our top story this week, Forbidden Door took place last night in California. Let's talk about it, okay? Because Papa Khan, Mr. Khan, we need to have a serious talk here. I love your pay-per-views are amazing. They're incredible. You knock it out of the park all the time. But if we're going to do a Sunday night pay-per-view, we know you guys go long. You need to start putting that shit on longer, or just put it on Saturday, or you need to start putting that shit on earlier, I should say. But see, I'm delusional. I'm like you. I'm still tired from staying up till about 1 a.m. our time to watch this. But yeah, incredible. Like from beginning to end, once you get out of the park. And I mean, Forbidden Door has always been one of those special pay-per-views. But I think especially for us too, because it was like that we were at. But I thought everybody, kind of the consensus going into this was like, man, there's not as many as Forbidden Door-y type of matches as you would want on a show. But you had a good mix, I think, and I think that's kind of how this show has transitioned over the years. Is yes, there are a lot of big AEW stories being told on the pay-per-view, but you got to mix also with some AEW versus New Japan or CMLL or Stardom matches in this show. Like it was a good, solid mix. Before we get into it and break it down, overall, what was your thoughts on Forbidden Door from 2026?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a very, very solid show. I think general consensus would say it was long. It, I mean, it was a loaded show, though. Uh, like you said, maybe either have it Saturday night or just start it earlier.
Started
Uh,
earlier, man. I get
yeah,
it. You're in California on the West Coast time, but for us people here on the East Coast, dude, like shit, I gotta get up at like 6 in the morning.
yeah. Um, I'm trying to remember. Did they do it last year where they had the Owen finals at Forbidden Door, or was that new
No,
this
because
year?
they did it at Double or Nothing last year. So this is the a matter of fact, I think this is the first year that Forbidden Door ever hosted the Owen finals. Because before
Okay.
there had been Owen matches, Owen Hart tournament matches, but never anything like this. So and I like
Okay.
too, like, because going into the show, everything was like the main event's the cage, but then it was like they're like, nope, it's a triple threat, and then we all know how they closed the show, and I think they were. I don't know if that was Tony's plan all along. I would assume so, but like that was the right way to do it because nothing was gonna fucking top like the Owen final between Osprey and Strickland. So let's get right into it and talk about that because yes, that's what closed the show. This right here, this is what the kids, as they like to say, this is pure cinema. Like this match, holy shit. Man, like, let me tell you something that does grind my gears though. And this is just fucking, this is the world we live in because people bitch and moan and complain about everything because that's what you fucking do. You know, people fucking bitching about Supergirl and they haven't even seen the goddamn movie because you can't go see the fucking movie because all the theaters are showing down, it's shutting down, and then everybody wants to fucking talk about, oh, this is not making money. I'm sorry, that's another rant for another time. But my point being, what I'm trying to go with this is like anybody that bitches about like, oh, they don't tell stories. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is a story. Think of where these two guys were not even a year ago. You can go back 2 years ago. They were the main event of Forbidden Door, right? And then they kind of had that moment there at the end of the match where Swerve was talking to Will. You got to throw back to that at the end of this match, and it's fascinating to look at the character arcs of where these two guys have gone in the past year. They were there. The whole thing was against the Death Riders. We got to stop the Death Riders and stuff, right? And look at where the fuck we are now. Like the Death Rider, I guess at this point you can practically say Will Ospreay's a Death Rider, right?
Becomes more and more Death Rider, I guess, each week, I guess you
Right?
could say.
But it's and you have of course Swerve kind of, we know what Swerve can do, you know, and like he like here's the best way I can describe it is look at the entrances alone last night, where you have Will Ospreay coming out in like a Bane tribute, and if you think about it, it's almost kind of like, think of it this way: who was Bane trained by in the comic book?
I don't know.
The League of Shadows, Ra's al
Shit.
Ghul's, right? So you can almost
Yeah.
say like fucking the Death Riders or the League of Shadow, kind of, in a way. Like I think it's just crazy the fucking parallels. And then you had Swerve coming out with his tribute to Lobo. He's here's the thing with Lobo. Lobo is a bad guy, but there's reason behind what he does, and everybody loves him. So it's just like the parallels is just uncanny. I mean, the match itself was incredible, like just a classic. Just like, I mean, God, this thing probably went 30+ minutes. It was a war. It was a bloodbath. Both of them bleeding profusely throughout this matchup. I mean, this picture right here alone is worth it. Like, in just the back and forth, the amazing false finishes, and it wasn't, in my opinion, I don't think they were like redundant or anything. Like, I mean, it worked for the match and the story they were telling. But ultimately, at the end of the day, at the end of the night, there could be only one, and Will Ospreay was successful in getting that win back from Swerve Strickland from 2 years ago. And now he is on the path of where he wanted to be over a year ago, where he's wanted to be since day one. He is now in the driver's seat. He will now challenge for the AEW World Championship at the biggest show of the year. And where is that show happening at? Oh, yeah, that's right, in his home country. So Will Ospreay can officially say he will main event Wembley Stadium and will challenge for the AEW World Championship. I mean, it's just, a lot of us, I think, myself and you included, thought he was going to win this last year, but like it really, it's so smart, man. Like, I think the way this was booked, just because like it makes it mean more. It's more special this year around. I mean, it was right time to have Hangman get that redemption arc last year. So, and it's right time right now to Will Ospreay, quote unquote, finish his story. But this matchup, and like I say, the story, everything about it was just fucking phenomenal. What were your thoughts on Ospreay versus Swerve?
Yeah, I mean the match was absolutely incredible. I think one of my takeaways, because I think back to like how badly I wanted AEW to sign Osprey when he was like a free agent, and I kept thinking, um, Osprey MJF. That's going to be the rivalry that like this company that will take this company like to the next level.
Yeah.
Dare I say? I think it may be Osprey and Swerve though.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic because like Swerve and Ospreay have such like a unique style, both of them do. And they both can play the heel, they both can play the babyface, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you got Ospreay against MJF, that's a classic heel versus babyface. And don't get me wrong, MJF can he play a babyface? Sure, but I mean, he's a heel through and through. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's like on paper, it's like, okay, Ospreay, MJF, and I think it's going to be one of the great. It already is a great rivalry. But I think the story we're telling here with Ospreay and Swerve is just it's amazing to me because you only in not only in wrestling but just like in entertainment in general, you only get like a home run, so to speak, or a Oscar worthy performance, or just a chance to perform a piece of art that is like timeless. And what's amazing to me, and I think this just goes to show you credit to the man himself, like Swerve Strickland already has that story with Hangman Page. I mean, that story is one we're going to be talking about from years and years to come. I think this is one too, as well, for Swerve. So just what an amazing body of work he has, and he's continuing to have them. But yeah, this story's far from being told between these two. This is just another amazing chapter. And the cool thing I think about this is B-roll. This isn't like necessarily we got to run back to this in a couple months or something. We can touch on this in like a year or something, like just let it continue to build like and age like a fine wine. But holy shit, this match was just everything. It was incredible. Is it Ospreay's best match to date in AEW? I mean, let me say this with that too. If you look at Ospreay's other matches, this one, and correct me if I'm wrong here, This one was like had all the amazing stuff that a Will Ospreay matches has, but this one just felt a little bit more emotional. Would you say?
Yeah, I would. I think I would. I would definitely say that. And I think a lot of it has to do with even a lot of what like is going on in Osprey's real life. Like he just got married,
Mm-hmm.
and like he truly has just become a guy that like you're truly rooting for.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it's like it, he's it's almost like he's at the beginning of something special. If you and like you're just like you're kind of like rooting for it to get to that next step, um,
right.
in a way. And really, they've kind of told the story in such a way through multiple different avenues that I think a lot of people really are just hooked on like what's next for Will Ospreay, from whether it's him with United Empire or like what's going on with the Death Riders, um, to winning the Owen. Um, like there's like almost like multiple hooks that you could.
Yeah.
Um, it's like a tripod almost. You can like rest. It has like all these different legs that you can.
Oh yeah. A
Yeah,
multi-layered story. It's going to be very interesting as we got a couple months to all end. And I will just say one thing, and we got to move on here because we've got so much more to talk about here. But I think what's interesting about these next couple months is going to be like, where is Will Ospreay's head going to be? Like, is he going to be like down because he's already starting to go down this kind of path of like a treacherous path, not like an honorable path, so to speak. And let me say this: what was key to this match last night, the finish, what he hit him with,
Tiger Driver.
hit him with the Tiger Driver. Yeah, so hitting with the Tiger Driver, and like that was something he swore he wasn't going to do again, and he did it last night. Like like I think what it can lead to is like obviously he had to do whatever he could to get to this moment, but now the question is like, okay, Will, do you still keep going down that path, or are you going to be your own man? So it's going to be a fascinating couple of months, to say the least here, on Will Ospreay's road getting to all in. So, but that match was one of our matches of the week here on PW60 because we got to talk about the other match here, which is the other Owen Hart final, the final matchup in the Women's Owen Hart tournament, featuring Mercedes Moné and Maya World. And holy shit, was this a coming out party or not? First off, I don't think anybody in their right mind thought this was going to be the finals of the Women's Owen. Nobody saw this coming. I mean,
Nope.
the Maya World story of her getting there, of course, suffering the tragic loss of her brother, and then getting the upset win over Sky Blue, right? And then somehow getting an upset win over Athena to punch her ticket here to the finals. And this matchup was fucking amazing to say the least, because here's the thing. Going into it, everybody, it's a surefire bet. Mercedes is going to win this thing, right? There was times in this matchup where I thought, holy shit, Maya's going to do it. Like, and if you can do that against a seasoned veteran like Mercedes Moné, that just shows you how talented both of those ladies are. And they told an incredible story last night. And we talked about it time in and time out, B-roll. What happened? Maya, like, okay, Mercedes went over, but Maya got over. I mean, you can't get more of a bigger rub than that. But it's her story to me is fascinating, because if you look back how she kind of got the job in AEW, I mean, she was talented, of course, but an opportunity arose to where she filled somebody's spot who kind of, made a bad impression with All Elite Wrestling, and she stepped up, and every time she's been asked to step up, do whatever, she's knocked it out of the park. But this was just an impressive matchup, to say the least. What do you think of the matchup with Mercedes and Maya?
Yeah, I really like it when you think of like the whole story of how she was kind of just a replacement, just filling in and stepping up. Um, yeah, I don't get why people say like they don't tell stories. Well, it's funny. I was thinking about this the other day, or not the other day. I guess just like yesterday after it was over. Like people like gripe and complain about like their initial complaint about Forbidden Door is that there was like not just this year. Like I'm talking Forbidden Doors in general. There was lack of stories on the Forbidden Door pay per view, and then it's like this year you have um, there
Multitude of
is a lot of
stories.
multitude of stories, right? And now
Mm-hmm.
people are complaining about like, well, it's not really like Forbidden Door like they barely have any.
People are just fucking fickle, and like that's all they want to do nowadays is
Right,
bitch
right,
and moan. Like,
right.
just
I
yeah.
would say like this is probably okay. It's not greater than the Hangman redemption arc, but this is probably like one of the best stories they've told through the Owen.
Yeah, I would easily say, I think out of the years they've been doing this, this was by far the best men's and one woman's final in the same year. Because before it's like been a decent like men's final and amazing women's final, vice versa. But this one, you could seriously say these are two match of the year candidates. I think both these matches.
Mhm.
And of course, that's why there are matches of the week here on PW60. But can't say enough great, wonderful things about Maya World. All signs kind of point towards a rivalry now with Athena. That'll be interesting. Could maybe Maya be the one to dethrone Athena? I could see it happening. Um, and
Got a lot
Mercedes,
of momentum.
she's got a lot of momentum. And Mercedes, love her or hate her, like you can't deny Mercedes Monet is one of the all-time greats. So tremendous, tremendous, tremendous both final matchups. Of course, Mercedes making history too, the first ever two-time Owen Hart Cup winner, winning it back-to-back years. So she's now booked her ticket to Wembley, and all signs point towards a certain matchup, but we'll talk about that here in just a little bit as we could talk more about Forbidden Door. And let's talk about the third match in the triple main event, the cage match between Team DC MJF, that's the Don Callis MJF family, faction, whatever, going against Team Briscoe. First off, I love the cage. Like, I was not expecting a new cage design. I thought this was just going to be like a typical kind of like what they did last year at Forbidden Door. But no, they went with like a circular design, kind of had like a fight pit kind of like feel to it. Like, what'd you think of the cage itself?
I loved it. It was something unique, and um, I I really enjoyed it. I guess it was refreshing, maybe to see something different. I guess.
Yeah, it was very, very appealing to the eyes. This was just the best way I can describe this matchup. It was fun. Like, it was just one of those fun multi-man matches that AEW is known for putting on. It's like a car wreck with all the chaotic action, but there was some stories told in this one too as well. You kind of got to touch upon the Kevin Knight and Darby Allin kind of them going at it again. You got to see Okada and Takeshita go at it again. You got to see Takeshita get his hands on Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, some of the highlights from this one's definitely absolutely loved the stuff that the conglomeration was doing with different backpacks. It was so fucking good. When Kyle O'Reilly pulled out an NES, I popped, and then I was like, "Oh my god, please don't fuck that NES up." I mean, I know you can
Yeah.
get them, but like, I mean, that thing belongs in a museum. getting out the thumbtacks and stuff, the gimmick bag for Darby that was the cause for like the kind of the jackass type of explosion to send Kevin Knight through the tables was great. But by far, the best, probably the coolest and funnest moment of this was when they get that big athletic trainer's bag out and they open it up, and what's in there? It's Leo Rush doing Leo Rush shit. Like, that was just so. We've talked about this earlier today. We were so happy that Leo Rush was involved in this matchup, and just like the stuff he's doing with the conglomeration, it's amazing. And just like the I love that he's getting so much love, because trust me, we're going to talk a lot more about Leo Rush on this episode for multiple companies too. That's just how busy that young man is. But just him, I'm so happy he was involved in this. I really was.
Yeah.
But you see it here, raising their hands in victory. Team Briscoe getting the win, and thus Mark Briscoe now has a shot at the AEW Championship, and he's already said he wants that title shot, and it's going to happen this Wednesday night on Dynamite. MJF has to defend the AEW Championship against Mark Briscoe. What did you think of the cage match overall?
Like you said, it was fun. There was like shenanigans. It was nice to have the new cage. Memorable moments throughout it, but like you said, most memorable is when they open that big bag and it's just Leo Rush that pops out. And then I liked because you said multiple stories like Andrade, like with the
Yes.
shirt reveal.
Let's talk about it. Yes, because that was the big story coming out of this match. Andrade turning on the Don Callis family. Here you see it. He's got the fuck Don, fuck MJF shirt. Don't know if that's going to be available for AEW shop, but
I need to know. I need to know where I can get one.
Yeah, I'd probably wear one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the big moment right there. Andrade turning and pretty much costing Team DC MJF the matchup. But I think the way this story was going, it's probably better you get him out of the Don Callis family, because it's not like they don't have enough members, right?
Yeah, I mean, no kidding. But like, see, now like my thing is like, it's so like they lost to Kesha and then they added Kevin Knight. So now I'm like, okay, like who's getting added to the Don Callis family on Wednesday?
God, don't talk that into existence. But you're not.
It will happen.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I mean, I think, like, I forget when it is, but I would highly suggest, from a book, like, it makes sense to me that you would do MJF and Andrade at the Grand Slam Mexico, right?
Yep.
I think that's where you do that at, right? Assuming MJF's the champ, but
yeah, it could be Briscoe. We don't know.
Yeah, could be, but nonetheless, Andrade out of the Don Callis family, and Team Briscoe picking up the win in the big steel cage match. So I got some other matches on the show. Copeland and Christian, Adam Copeland and Christian defending their AEW Tag Team Championships for the first time on pay-per-view, going up against the Dogs. I say, really didn't care about this matchup going into it. If I'm being, it wasn't a bad match, but I'm sorry. Anytime Finley's on my TV screen, I tend to shut it off or just shut myself off. But this definitely did have a huge moment in it. One of the highlights of the night. The Switchblade is back, baby. After over a year hiatus, Jay White has triumphantly returned to All Elite Wrestling as he took out David Finlay, and thus the Dogs would get defeated by Adam Copeland and Christian, as they would retain their tag titles. But Jay White is back with the Bang Bang Gang. The Bang Bang Gang is back at their strongest now with Jay White, along with Juice Robinson, Ace Austin, and the Guns. God, man, it was beautiful seeing Jay White, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like I almost feel like this is why that match was on the pay-per-view. Because like if this didn't happen, like you almost could have just you almost could have just done this on like the go home show or something.
Yeah. Huge moment though. Thank God the Switchblade's black. Breathe with the Switchblade, baby. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do going forward. I mean, obviously they've got a vendetta with the dogs. I think it's interesting too, because if you once again, they don't tell stories. This story transcends into multiple companies. Because remember,
Yeah.
David Finlay is the one who excommunicated Jay White from the
Mhm.
Bullet Club in New Japan and took over ownership.
Uh-huh.
Kicked him off, pretty much ran him out of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So obviously Jay White wanted to get some revenge against David Finlay. But Copeland and Christian, once again, did retain their tag team championships. And of course, the Switchblade is back. But probably my favorite match outside of the Owen Hart finals was this one. I knew going into it was going to be awesome. Tekla defended her AEW Women's Championship against Starlight Kid. What a masterpiece of a match this was. Honestly, if it wasn't for the two Owen finals, this probably would have been our match of the week. Because it was just a classic Stardom main title defense that, went like, it felt like I was watching a Stardom show, like Main Event or something, right in front of like Forbidden Door. I thought this match was incredible. Had so much going into it. The storytelling, of course, with Tekla and her rivalry with Stardom, her hatred toward President Okada from the Stardom Association. And of course, Starlight Kid, she's had a couple wins on Tekla. So, very believable challenger. But at the end of the day, Tekla would ultimately get the win here, retain her championship. But she wasn't done at the end of the match, was she? As she would rip the sacred mask from Starlight Kid and thus wear it around as a trophy at the press conference afterward and stuff.
Yep.
And spitting in the mask also, too, and rubbing it in President Okada's face. B-roll, I don't think we're done anytime soon with this rivalry with Tekla and Stardom. I mean, I think it's only just really kind of beginning. Like, I'm not gonna be shocked if we see Tekla show up on a Stardom show to cause more chaos. But overall, what do you think of this classic AEW women's title matchup?
Yeah, I mean it was. I mean, Tech was like next level. And it's funny because like when she debuted, I really like. I wasn't that excited or anything. Didn't really. I really didn't care for her at first, but she's like wildly entertaining, especially like with, like. And honestly, like I feel like even like it's that media scrum. Like this is why
Yeah.
she should be a champion. Like
Mm-hmm.
very very entertaining.
Oh yeah. I feel like with her, she's like somebody who's like, okay, if you give me an opportunity, I'm gonna run with the ball and I'm gonna prove you like how great I am. And it's like on paper, you're like, you know what, she can be pretty good. Could I have seen her as the AEW champion, women's champion? Sure, at some point. Not as soon as it happened, I don't think in my mind. But the way it's went down and the way her title run has been so far has been very impressive. She's definitely proven herself as like one of the top tier talents in all of elite wrestling. But let's talk about it. Looking ahead, looks like we're getting Tekla Mercedes Moné at All In. That is a matchup I did not think we would see. But there's a lot of time that can happen between now and then. But what do you think of that as a matchup at All In?
I mean, I would think if there's anyone that could beat her, right? I mean, you would think
Might be
it should be
Mercedes, yeah.
like she pretty much almost ran through everybody else.
Mm-hmm. And vice versa. If anybody's going to beat Mercedes, one of the top tier talents, it would Tekla's up there. There's only few select wrestlers on that roster who would be very believable that they could defeat Mercedes, and Tekla is definitely on that short list, I'd say. But the Toxic Spider's been killing it, man, and it's all things are pointing towards Wembley, where she will defend that championship against Mercedes Moné. But like I say, a lot can happen in the next couple of months. We'll see what happens. But once again, amazing matchup between Tekla and Starlight Kid, and I'm sure they will run that back again someday. Oh, baby, this one right here. So Shoto Umino in his first IWGP Global Title defense against the Bastard Pac. Man, this matchup was this was as good as I thought it would be and better. Like, I was so pumped when they announced this. You know me, I'm a big Shooter guy, and Shooter is on a roll right now. And for him to have it's amazing to me because, like, watching Shooter over the years and kind of that relationship he developed with Jon Moxley as, like, kind of his young boy or stuff, and they gave him the nickname of Shooter. He kind of comes onto his own. You have where the Death Riders, he became like an honorary Death Rider member. If you look at Forbidden Doors past, he was always on a team with the Death Riders pretty much. And then, of course, we're going to talk a little bit more about this in detail, but he was excommunicated from the Death Riders recently. And, like, it's just interesting that, like, this match at Forbidden Door, it just so happened to be against a Death Rider in the Bastard Pac. But this match showcased both of these guys, how talented and incredible they are. But Shooter would get a huge win at Forbidden Door, successfully retaining that IWGP Global Championship. What do you think of the global title match?
I saw it. I feel like this was almost like your match of the night for like a wrestling purist, if you will.
Classic strong style match.
Yeah, this is the match you hope for, like when you think of a Forbidden Door show type deal. That and like the Tech Club versus Starlight Kid.
Absolutely,
like those were like the most Forbidden Door opening matches, if you will.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more, man. And then we got to talk about the aftermath of this, because of course you have Mox out there, and then we get this final, like, oh, we're finally getting this confrontation between Mox and Shota. And out of the blue, what do we hear? Go Ace, the president himself, Hiroshi Tanahashi, making an appearance. And of course, Jon Moxley backing off with the Death Riders leaving. But I want to say this. Once again, a lot of different, you talked about a tripod earlier. There's a lot of different stories being told in this one too, if you think about it. And it goes across multiple companies. So obviously at some point we're going to get Mox and Shooter. That's inevitable, right? I don't think we're going to get it right away anytime soon, but I do think in the next year or so that match could happen. Hell, it could be at Forbidden Door next year. But also, I want to talk about the moment at the end here with Tanahashi and Shota. Because what happened, Tanahashi grabs the belt, wraps it around Shooter, and kind of raises his hand. And he's like up here proclaiming kind of in a way that Shooter's the guy in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Shooter was there to defend New Japan Pro Wrestling's honor. But you know who wasn't at Forbidden Door to defend New Japan's honor? Oh, I don't know, the champion himself. And he went on pretty much and said, no, I'm not going to work Forbidden Door because I don't believe in the relationship with AEW. So now it's like, okay, so Tanahashi kind of is this kind of him choosing Shota Umino as his handpicked predecessor? What's Yota Tsuji going to have to say about that? You know, obviously there's a rivalry already there with them kind of being like the named as part of these new Three Musketeers. So some seeds definitely kind of planted there as well with that moment at the end there. So, but
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. If you think about
it.
Yeah. So, I mean, once again, whoever the fuck, they don't tell stories. Well, you need to fucking watch and actually pay attention to see they are telling stories that are relevant, stories that are fun, stories that are fucking interesting. But anyways, I digress. But congratulations to Shooter. Also, we mentioned Moxley. I want to talk about this here. Moxley had with Bandito for the Continental Championship. Sorry, I think my mic was breaking up there. But yeah, Moxley successfully retained his Continental Championship against a hard-fought, bloody matchup with Bandito. Bandito was bleeding a lot in that one, coming ever so close to beating John Moxley. But John Moxley, once again, proving that he may be, whether you love him or hate him, he may be the best Continental Champion of all time. Like, fighting champion. He's defended that belt ever since he won the Continental Classic last December. Tremendous matchup for the Continental title as well. Speaking of tremendous matchups, let's talk about this. This is a big dream matchup on Forbidden Door. Very much a Forbidden Door style matchup. Zack Sabre Jr. going up against Kenny Omega. And this was the first time these guys ever meeting in the States. First time meeting since they met in the G1 Climax. Like, what was it, 10 years ago or something like that? Or 8 years ago or something? It was a while back. But obviously, both of these guys have grown tremendously since the last time they met. And this matchup did not disappoint. As you got that classic strong style matchup, that technical wizardry from Zack Sabre Jr., those breathtaking maneuvers from one Kenneth Bicotto. This was everything I wanted it to be and more. Tremendous matchup. Man, what an incredible bout. I could go back and watch this one over and over again. What do you think of Omega and Zack Sabre Jr.?
They don't call him the best spout machine for no reason.
Nope. Not a cute nickname. It's because he is. And I got to tell you, Zack Sabre Jr., God, he just gets better and better each year. It's crazy how good he is.
It is true. Like, so I'm going to compare it to this. Like, I've said before, comparing it to basketball, like, while I may not be a LeBron fan, like, I consider myself lucky to have been alive during the time where, like, Jordan and LeBron both played. Okay,
Yeah.
So comparing that, like, I'm thankful to be alive while Kenny Omega has been wrestling.
Oh yeah, that's a great comparison. It's interesting too because like now Kenny's got this huge win. Like, where does he go from next year in AEW? I mean, he obviously wants to challenge again for the AEW championship, but that's a pretty big line waiting to get a title shot there. So I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen there. Of course, we know where Zack Sabre Jr. is going from here. He's got the G1 coming up here real soon, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit as well. But awesome matchup. Great matchup to start the show was this one as well. The triple threat matchup with the Young Bucks going against Unbound Incorporated and going up against Unbound Inc., I should say, I'm sorry, and Mystico and Lince Dorada, or Masquerade Dorada in a triple threat matchup. Love this matchup. What a great opener.
It was fun. My favorite moment was when I feel like when the Bucks and what's it Sky Team or something like that?
Oh yeah, yes.
Like when
Sky
they first
Team,
when they first got in the ring, and it was just like the pace from there, like it took an extra step up.
Oh yeah, it's interesting too because I don't know if Dorade or Mystico had ever been in the ring with the Bucks before. I know of, like Lewis Cobb, no, but I can't recall them ever encountering each other before.
I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Remember either, but
yeah,
I feel like they said something on commentary about it. I was trying to remember.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, but overall, Forbidden Door, phenomenal show. Let's talk about the buy-in real quick too. Had some great matches on it as well. Of course, you had Defiant Opinion do what they do best and successfully retain their AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. But I'll say this: I think this was the hardest challenge they may have had with Thunder Rosa and Olympia from CMLL. That Rosa and Olympia, like that, I really like their combination. But man, oh man, Is there
I don't know who's
anybody
gonna
that can?
beat.
Who the hell's
I
going to
don't.
stop Divine Dominion?
I don't know.
I don't know.
don't.
It's crazy, but they have been on a hell. The survival. Can you hear me? Okay, I feel like my mic's breaking.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Now I can't.
Talk about this, or just there we go.
There we go.
No, I was going to say, go ahead and just talk about this one. Tell us what you thought about this match.
I can hear you now.
Yeah. What thoughts? Can't hear me. Al, we're live. I said, go ahead and tell me what your thoughts are on this one.
I mean, it was solid. But I mean, how many losses is Sky Blue going to keep taking? I feel like that's kind of how I feel.
God damn it. Can you hear me now?
There you go. Yep.
That's right when I said, God damn it. I
Yep.
apologize. Yeah, I have I've been dealing with this for a minute. Fucking technology. But anyways, I was a little surprised. I loved it though. I think it's fucking wonderful. Like, first and foremost, let me just say this. Maka is an incredible fucking wrestler. Like, she's she kills it in Stardom. So if anybody's going to pick up a win and to see her get in that spot, I think that's great. Well deserved and warranted. So it's going to be interesting to see that survival of the fittest matchup this Wednesday on Dynamite, because, I mean, there's some heavy hitters in that, and I could see it going about any way. So who's going to be the new TBS champion? We'll find out this Wednesday on Dynamite. And rounding out the action on the buy-in, we had one Daniel Garcia going up against Drilla Maloney. So you had Unbound Incorporated or Inc. I hate that fucking name, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. But anyways, you had them
it's
against Death Riders. It's pretty fucking stupid. But Driller Maloney getting a huge win against Andrew Garcia. And Driller Maloney got some momentum going into the G1 Climax, which we're going to talk about here momentarily. But we got to talk about Dominion, which took place over a week ago. From Osaka Joe Hall. Of course, this is arguably the second or third biggest show of the year for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And if you was to define this show or put, I would say this was the beginning of a new era, essentially, if you will, because there was a lot of changes, a lot of title changes on this show. First off, let's talk about that main event. Yota Tsuji defeating Caleb Newman to win back his IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Of course, debuting the new finisher he has, which I got to be honest, I've already forgot what the name of it is, because Yota Tsuji tends to come up with some stupid fucking names for his stuff. I'm just saying. Talented wrestler, but he needs somebody renaming his shit. Unbound Company or Inc. or fucking whatever.
You think the finisher is very cool though?
Oh, the finisher's badass. So he does like a spear, but then he does like a fucking football tackle, it kind of does like a weird looking kind of German suplex thingy. I don't know how you describe it other than it's fucking cool, and I don't remember seeing it. I think he calls it the shock blaster or something, the ass blaster. I don't know. Wouldn't shock me if you call it that. But a lot of people bitching about this, and it's just like, y'all are showing that you do not understand how New Japan books their stories and King's Road storytelling. Because anytime a guy who gets an upset win, kind of like Callum Newman. No offense to you, young man, but nobody thought you would be the IWGP champion this early. But anytime those guys get their first big title win, it's usually not that long of a reign. That's just how New Japan's always booked. And then people bitching about Tsuji dropping it after he won it earlier this year. Same fucking thing. Same fucking thing. When they win the title their first time, they don't typically have it for long. If you look at the long-term storytelling with this, it's because it's so competitive for that IWGP championship. These guys, now this is Tsuji's like first run, or now his second run with the title. He has a little bit of experience of what to expect, because it's one of those things you got to expect the unexpected, right? Like, just watch wrestling, just enjoy it, quit your fucking bitching and moaning. I can't stress that enough, because the world doesn't need your bitching and moaning, okay? And I'm going to get off of this, but I got to say it one more time. I'm so fucking tired of just people bitching and moaning just to do it. That is the world we live in nowadays, is where people just want to fucking complain to complain. Like, if you don't have a valid reason to complain, just shut the fuck up, turn the channel, touch some grass, get out of mother's basement.
Get off my lawn.
Fucking enjoy wrestling, people, because this was a tremendous matchup. And it does a lot for both these guys, too, I think. Because now you have Tsuji as a two-time champion. You got Cal Newman, who's got that statistic as the youngest IWGP champion ever. I mean, he's just going to go up from here. And I tell you what, the young man, even though he only had like one title defense and only held it for like 3 months or whatever, it was a very good run that he had, although short-lived. So, but I have no doubt in my mind he will once again be IWGP champion. But Yota Tsuji's back on top again. I mean, you knew he was going to win it when he came out and he had new entrance music. I mean, come on, man, regardless of how lame it is or whatever. But Tsuji's on top again in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. We talked about this young man earlier. This is where the moment happened for Shota Umino. Would win that IWGP Global Championship at Dominion, as he would defeat the then champion Andrade and Driller Maloney in a triple threat matchup. Of course, big moment for Shota Umino, finally getting his first singles championship win in New Japan Pro Wrestling. First singles title run, of course. The big shocker, though, was at the end of this, where of all people, Gabe Kidd showed up and attacked one Shota Umino. And that's where Gabe Kidd pretty much said, hey, I'm a Death Rider, and which I thought he was just a mercenary, but I guess he is a Death Rider now. So I guess he's like, fuck the dogs, I'm with the Death Riders. Which, kid, trust me, that's the best fucking career move you could have made. I do like Clark Connor still, but anybody that's affiliated with fucking Finley, it's like, you're fucked. Like, you might as well take the shillelagh and shove it up your urethra, like fucking Juice Robinson said. Anyways, I digress. But yeah, Shota Umino pretty much being kicked out of the Death Riders now. And that matchup, by the way, B-roll, interesting enough, it is going to happen here in a couple weeks, as it was officially announced that it will be on the Road to G1 show. So there's 2 more qualifying matches for the G1 Climax, as well as we've got Yo defending the Junior Heavyweight Championship too. Which, speaking of which, let's kind of segue into that. Yo would defeat Doki and win his first ever IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Long overdue, of course, winning the Best of Super Juniors tournament this year. This young man, like, I've watched this guy. I remember him already all the way back in Roppongi 3K. So it's cool to see him get his flowers. And now he is on top of the junior heavyweight division, but there's a lot of people knocking on his door, of course. Recently, there was a 4-way matchup to determine his new number 1 contender, and it was Francisco Akira from the United Empire, who will challenge for that IWGP Junior Championship on the road to the G1. So, but congratulations to Yo. He is your new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. We also got new IWGP Tag Team Champions at Dominion. Kind of a little bit of a surprise, because, I mean, the KO brothers were unstoppable. I think the KO brothers was probably one of the best tag teams that's been in New Japan since maybe Gorillas of Destiny. I really loved what Oscar and Yuta Ice was putting down. But the Great Ohan and Hanare would add some more gold to the United Empire as they would defeat the KO brothers. And keep in mind, those guys never lost those tag team championships. So they had a big chip on their shoulder, and they are now bump.
Yeah, see, I had really thought that they were going to do like I thought Newman would maybe retain and like all the gold would be in United Empire, but that was not to be had. But
All
isn't
right.
Great
Yeah,
Ohan such a beautiful man?
he is a beautiful man. Can you hear me okay now?
I can hear you now.
All right. Yeah. So I'm sorry. My mic's fucked. So you're gonna have to hear me out this way. So, and if you hear my AC in the background, hey, tough shit because it's hot as fuck here. So, anyways, I love live. Yeah. So we got United Empire adding more gold. Hanare and Great Ohan never lost those tag belts, and it's going to be interesting to see like the KO brothers kind of get back on top if they could be when that would be. Of course, we got the G1 coming up, but nonetheless, we got new IWGP Tag Team Champions, and we also got a new IWGP Never Open Champion as Aaron Wolf would win his title back from Ren Narita. Thank God, because fuck House of Torture. Like, happy to see anybody beat fucking House of Torture. Am I right, B-Roll?
That's right.
So, Aaron Wolf, once again, your Never Open champion. And, I mean, my God, like, how that was, like, what, 5 different champions, chips changing hands at Dominion. Huge show because, yes, folks, we are now on the road. It is the biggest tournament in all of professional wrestling. This summer, it's going to begin. It's the G1 Climax, and the brackets were announced at Dominion. You've got your A block and your B block. Now, we can tell you that Yuta Ice and Aaron Wolf have qualified and will be a part of the G1 Climax. We do know we got ELP and I forget who he's wrestling. And you also got Oscar, who could qualify still too for the G1 Climax. But breaking it down, the A block, you got Takeshita, Yodosuji, Sanada, Bolton Oleg, Jake Lee, Shingo Takagi, the Great Ohan, Hiroki Goto, and Yuta Ice. Whereas in the B block, we got Callum Newman, Zack Sabre Jr., Shota Umino, Yua Uemura, Ren Narita, Driller Maloney, Gabe Kidd, and Hanare. And I believe Aaron Wolf's in this block as well. But the big story, though, coming out of this is you've got technically 2 AEW wrestlers in this. Of course, you knew Takeshita would be. But Gabe Kidd's in the G1. What do you think of Gabe Kidd being announced for the G1 Climax?
I think Gabe Kidd is crazy, and like, wasn't he like just coming off an injury and like, sign up for like the G1 and
yeah, that's what I'm saying, because I thought for sure, like, I didn't think he would be, one, I didn't think he would be in it, two, didn't think he'd be cleared by now, but here we are. And Gabe Kidd could gain a lot of momentum, because remember, he's going to get that title match against Shota Umino here in the next week or two. So he could be walking into the G1 as the IWGP Global Champion, which would be ironic, because he walked into last year's G1 as the global champion. Remember, he did get hurt during the G1 Climax, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Of course, we've already announced matches for Night 1, which is going to kick off here in a couple weeks in Chicago, and so exciting because yours truly, I will be there ringside, and we're taking you along for the trip, so you're going to want to check out here in a couple weeks on Cold TV. We'll have our G1 Climax Night 1 vlog and our special G1 Climax week, all coming up for you here in a couple weeks. But it's the most wonderful time of year when you get to the G1 Climax. And this year is going to be impressive. I'm really hyped. We're going to see Takeshita and Tsuji in Chicago. That match is going to go down. Zack Sabre Jr. against Shota Umino is one of the matches announced for night one action. It's going to be a hell of an opening night in Chicago for the G1 Climax. So cannot wait. That kicks off here in a couple weeks. Also, speaking about New Japan Pro Wrestling, we got to talk about this. Tiger Mask, the great Tiger Mask, Tiger Mask 4. He will have his last match in New Japan Pro Wrestling coming up here on July 7th. And how appropriate his last match will be against one of his greatest rival sons, Tommy Billington, the Dynamite Kid. I think that's so freaking cool that was going to be one of his last matches coming up on July 7th. But speaking of Tiger Mask, just wrestled his last match in Mexico, in Arena Mexico, and of course awarded several accolades for that, a special title for him. I mean, the rich history of Tiger Mask has been going on for years, since the 80s. And Tiger Mask 4 has had a hell of a run. So it's going to be exciting to see his last match coming up here on July 7th, especially against the Dynamite Kid. So speaking of Japan, we got to talk about Stardom Wrestling held the conversion recently. And it's a shocker on this one, B-Roll, because we have a new World of Stardom champion, and it is none other than Suzy Suzuki has won the World of Stardom championship against Saya Kura. A lot of people complaining about this because Saya had just won that title from Saya Kamitani a couple months ago. As a matter of fact, I think she only had a 56-day reign. But once again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. This is the Japanese style of storytelling. This is King's Road storytelling. Typically, when somebody finally climbs to the top of the mountain, they don't hold that title for long because they have so many people gunning for them and they're new to it. And it's a challenge, and it's very difficult to retain in the world of Japanese wrestling, strong style wrestling, than it is here in the States. So just fucking go with the story. Trust me. I'm sure she'll be back on top. But this was a huge win, like I say, for Suzy Suzuki. And a lot of us, myself included, didn't think this would happen that quickly. But here we are. So congratulations to her. She's your new World Stardom champion. We also have a new GHC Women's Champion as well. Of course, that title was declared vacant after Maya Iwatani did suffer a injury. And Mirai would defeat the Great Sake, of course, the Great Muta's daughter, for the GHC Women's Championships. And congratulations to her. She is your new Pro Wrestling Noah GHC Women's Champion. And speaking of Pro Wrestling Noah, let's talk about their, their most recent card, the Legacy Rise show. And this would be Shane Haste's first title defense of the GHC heavyweight title, and he would successfully retain against Tetsuya Endo. But the big story coming out of this one, B-Roll, we got new GHC tag team champions as Passionate Rattle, a.k.a. Manaba Soya and Yuki Ino, would defeat Los Tranquilos de Japón, Bushi and Tetsu Naito, as this rivalry goes on. And now Passion Rattel, they now have the GHC Tag Team Championships. They can add it to some of the gold that they hold. Also, Marufuji would successfully retain his GHC National Championship against Suji Konda on this show as well. But if you want to see a replay of this awesome show, just sign up for the Wrestle Universe app. They don't pay a shit, but maybe one day. But the Wrestle Universe app, they have so much amazing wrestling content on there, especially if you love Japanese wrestling. Oh my God, that's the way to go. So But Shane Hayes already very impressive early on in his run as the GHC heavyweight champion. Also, we got to talk about this in Pro Wrestling Noah too, because only in wrestling would this happen. So during a show a couple weeks ago, there actually was an earthquake that happened mid-match. Of course, it stopped the match temporarily, and then they just kind of went back on because, hey, earthquakes happen all the time in Japan. They're used to that shit. What would you do if you were just, like, let me ask you, B-Roll, because, like, not so much if you're wrestling. Let's say you were at home mowing your grass and there was an earthquake. What would you do?
I wouldn't have been calm like they all were, and like Naito's just sitting there chilling on the corner, like yep.
Okay, tranquilo. So yeah, I would have
tranquilo.
I would have shit my pants. I would have shit my pants, no doubt about it.
But I mean, this isn't the first time there's been an earthquake in wrestling.
Now, are you talking about the wrestler earthquake? I feel like this is a joke you're making.
Yeah, that was a joke.
Knew it. Well, on that note, let's go to our good buddy Spicy Guac Gustavo with a spicy take.
So, it is your boy, Gustavo. I will always and forever be a big proponent on the why of professional wrestling. Only because when you see two or more people fighting, you have to understand the why. Why are they fighting? What's the story? Sometimes there is no story. Sometimes it's just people that are in a ring that just get booked to fight. And you know what? Sometimes that's just appropriate. You don't need a Kyle versus a Kyle versus a Paige versus a Paige. You just have two people just fight for 20 minutes. And that's okay. But why are they fighting? Usually it's money. Sometimes it's a spot, a contendership, things like that. But some people just fight because, like, you don't know what goes down in catering, brother. Like, sometimes you really want that chicken breast and some asshole just decides to take it and they don't even eat all of it. Like, they take 2 or 3 bites of it and then they just say, oh, fuck it, like, it's not really for me and I wasn't really that hungry and I don't know why I grabbed it anyway. And then you see that and you're just like, hey, no, what the fuck, man? Like, I was gonna have that chicken breast. And then it's just a whole thing, and like, sometimes you just gotta punch a motherfucker in the mouth because of it. I'm not saying this from experience, but I do know a guy, and like, I completely get his fucking point. Like, who disrespects chicken breasts like that? And who in their right mind just wastes food like that? We're in a fucking recession right now, and you're just gonna go around just fucking wasting food like that? Like, goddamn, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna see you in the ring. Because who wastes chicken breasts like that? Ugh. Professional wrestling is fun. It's very fun. And you have to have the why. Like, why the fuck would somebody waste a goddamn chicken?
Well, I hope Spicy was able to get a chicken breast, assuming that story was about him. But thank you so much. And hey, we want to give a big shout out to Gustavo. He picked up some gold over the weekend as well. So our boy out here doing his thing, man. We're so proud of you. Your PW60 family, so proud of you, and we love you, man. So, well, let's talk some independent wrestling, B-roll. There's a couple big indie shows that happened over the past couple weeks, and I got to see this one on YouTube over the weekend. Ase's The World Is Yours show took place. Of course, we talked about Ase here before on PW60. An amazing promotion. And this show was badass. Like, this show was loaded top to bottom. We had some new champions crowned. As to kick off the show, you have Ugly Gang would defeat TME to win the Ase Men's Tag Team Championship. Excuse me. You also had Shook D pick up a massive win as he defeated the beautiful and talented Bishop Khan. And as well as Isaiah Bronner in a triple threat to win the Pan-African Championship. That was just the first two matches on this show, man. Had a hell of a matchup between Charity King and Jordan Blade for the ASE Women's Championship matchup. Charity King barely could make it to the back after that one. But the big match on this show was the first ever ASE Rumble, which was a 30-man Rumble match. Had some of the best independent wrestlers going today in this matchup. Shout out to our boy Calvin Tankman. He was in this one. Match was awesome, man. There was a lot of great stories told. I got to see a lot of guys who I'd never seen before. And I got to tell you, the match itself was delivered. And Yaya would ultimately win the Rumble. Yaya is a big dude. I don't know if you ever seen Yaya, but yeah, Yaya is like, he's not like a physical specimen. He's kind of like a one of us. Like we could look up to him, kind of big dude. But I mean, he's in phenomenal shape. And he went like 50 plus minutes in this one to win the damn thing. So Yaya now earning a shot at the ASE Men's Championship. And of course, in the main event, tremendous matchup, Darius Carter would successfully retain his ASE Men's title against Caprice Coleman. Great to see Caprice Coleman. I haven't seen him wrestle in a long time. So tremendous show. Go over on ASE on YouTube and check out their channel, and you can catch a replay of this amazing show and some of the other amazing shows they put on, as they are one of the best independent promotions going today by far. Also, you know we love our mystery wrestling here at PW60, and they've done it again. They held another marathon show with a 22-hour Infinite Rumble. And you can see here it had so many different competitors from Teletubbies, Santa Claus, and Freddy Krueger. Stu Grayson setting a lot of records in this one. I think with the most eliminations was like 70 or something, or 80 or something like that. Setting the record for the longest consecutive time in the match. Was in this match for 5 hours and 23 minutes. But your Infinite Rumble winner was Cool Ref. And also, I think, too, this was like what they did with their longest show a couple of months ago. This was also like for charity, too, as well. So, Evil Uno, Mr. Wrestling's always, they are fun to watch. Follow them on all their socials. Check out their YouTube channel. They have some incredible, and just fun. If you want to have a good laugh, just watch their stuff, man. So about Combat Zone Wrestling, CCW held their Tangled Web show this past Saturday at the CCW Arena. And folks, we have a new CCW champion. It is Akira. So Akira is now the CCW champion. CCW, we want to try to talk a lot more about on this show because, I mean, they have such a rich history for as long as they've been around. And of course, they're known for Tournament of Death as far as, like, a lot of fans know, myself included. But, I mean, there's a lot more. Like our good buddy, shout out to our good buddy Mike, who could tell you all day about, like, CCW and the amazing history and talent that's been through their stores. But nonetheless, Akira is your new CCW champion. And Game Changer Wrestling was on the West Coast this weekend. Of course, they were in our neck of the woods last weekend as they stopped there in the Midwest. And, of course, as you saw on Cole TV, I was there for their show at the Fountain Square Theater. But they were in Arizona and Los Angeles in their stomping grounds at the Ukrainian Center. And, of course, you know when CCW is in the best scouts town, he's going to be there. So that being said, let's go to this special clip highlighting some of the moments from GCW's America's Most Wanted.
Hey guys, let's fucking go! Woo! No, keep talking. We both hate each other passionately. You're insulting my motherfucker.
Oh shit!
Oh, hell. What the hell? Oh, now I'm really comfortable.
Well, there you go. Just some highlights from America's Most Wanted. And a huge shout out to the Best Gout Machine. Go over to his YouTube channel if you want to see the entire vlog. It is now up on the Best Gout Machine's YouTube channel. If you're not subscribing, please go there right now and subscribe. And you can see all the amazing stuff from WrestleSpanks and all the amazing content that our good buddy, the Best Gout Machine, puts out. So, but thank you so much for sharing that with us. Let's talk about some Ring of Honor wrestling, because there's some stuff been going on in Ring of Honor, obviously, with their Global Wars shows. Some big time interpromotional matches, so to speak. You had on this edition, Mark Davis successfully retained his national title against Ace Austin in a tremendous matchup. Surrey pick up a win over Billy Starks. Had the Ops in action against the Premier Athletes. But let's talk about the main event. Deonna Purrazzo defending her ROH Pure Women's Championship against Olympia. Why? Are you sad there, B-Roll? Oh, this is why you're sad. Because, yes, it is being reported that at recent Ring of Honor tapings, Deonna Purrazzo suffering a foot or leg injury. We're not sure the extent of the injury, how long she'll be out. But it does look like she is going to be out for a minute. May have to vacate that Pure title. Are you okay, B-Roll?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. It'll get better. It'll get better. Hey, here's something I think will cheer you up. We also got a new Ring of Honor World Television Champion. And yes, we've been talking about in the show, the Blackheart, Lio Rush, picking up his first big singles championship in All Elite Wrestling and Ring of Honor. And, of course, he's our Wrestler of the Week on PW60. But think about this. In the span of 2 weeks, Lio Rush has won the ROH TV Championship, successfully defended that TV Championship. He has had a hell of a matchup with Shotzi Blackheart in Game Changer Wrestling. And, oh, yeah, by the way, was involved in the main event at one of the main event matches at Forbidden Door. So Lio Rush is killing it right now. And, of course, he's our Wrestler of the Week this week here on PW60. Speaking of champions and new champions in Ring of Honor, this past weekend, Mystico and Mascarade Dorada would defeat Sammy Guevara and Taurus for those Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, and they are now your ROH Tag Champions. And if you're keeping track at home, folks, Mystico is now the middleweight champion, the Trios champion in CMLL. He is one half of the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions, and now he's one half of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, which that's got to be some type of insane record. But Mystico had a hell of a year last year. He's having just as amazing, if not a better year this year. But congratulations to the new champs, Mystico and Mascarade Dorada. Speaking of CMLL, man, CMLL, God, every time we talk about CMLL, we have nothing but praise and amazing things to say about them. And they've done it again, as they just had their 60th consecutive sellout in Arena Mexico, which is unheard of. Like, CMLL is the premier company in all of Lucha Libre by far, and there's no disputing it. With their history, with the consecutive sellouts, like, CMLL is just absolutely killing it and crushing it right now. Congratulations to them, and another amazing sellout. Let's talk about Dynamite and Collision from this past week. Of course, we were on the road, obviously, to Forbidden Door, but there were some important moments that happened. You had, of course, Queen Aminata and Harley Cameron, respectively, advancing to the survival of the fittest matchup.
Was that Harley Cameron or Supergirl?
I know, right? Love the little Supergirl homage because she was at the Supergirl premiere. But yeah, Harley Cameron looking awesome. I'm pulling for her in that matchup, honestly. I don't know if she's going to do it, man, but if anybody could do it, it'd be great if it's Harley Cameron walking out your new TBS champion. Also, you had a great trios match with the Death Riders and Mystico and Brodito to kick off the show. I love seeing ELP in action against Will Ospreay, kind of a throwback to their matches from prior years. Takeshita successfully retaining the International Championship against Ricochet as well. And, of course, we go over to Collision on this past Saturday night. Big go-home show there for Forbidden Door. The Ops tried to challenge for the conglomeration, or tried to challenge for the Trios Championships against conglomeration. Say that 3 times fast. And did not pick up the wins. So the conglomeration successfully retaining their championships. Also, Kevin Knight would successfully retain his TNT title over Desmond Xavier from the Rascals. You also had Persephone defend the CMLL Women's Championship against Billy Stark. She successfully retained. You had Jake Doyle in action. And in the main event, you have Mercedes and Athena in tag action against Maya World and Heian. Collision was awesome. It was a great setup for the amazing pay-per-view that was Forbidden Door. Like I say, AEW, whether you love them or hate them, they're firing all cylinders. Even this fucking fat piece of shit over here wants to be a part of it too, whether he wants to admit it or not. Yeah, that's right. Bully Ray saying he could beat Jon Moxley's ass. Unk, shut the fuck up and just go back to the bar and and flirt with the underage girl that you're probably going to get arrested for at some point. This is just the ick so much. Bully Ray, I can't say this enough. Fuck Bully Ray. Fuck him forever and a day. He thinks his shit don't stink. He thinks he's God's gift to wrestling. He's not. Yes, the Dudleys had heat. They had incredible heat. In 1997, okay? That was fucking over 20 years ago. Fucking, at this point, almost 30 years ago. Good God. Just shut the fuck up, dude. Just really, tell me you want a job with AEW without telling me you want a job. And I please hope and pray to God this does not lead to anything, because I don't want to see that.
I wouldn't watch it. Yeah, be honest.
Bully Ray had a midlife crisis in TNA when he was with Aces and fucking Eights. And that was Aces and Eights was what, 15 years ago or something?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Just fucking, I don't watch Busted Open anymore. Mainly because of him, because he's so goddamn annoying. So, fuck Bully Ray. I'm done talking about him. I want to talk about something positive. And let's talk about Darby Allin. Got married over the weekend. Congratulations to Darby Allin. Of course, in classic Darby Allin fashion, what would he do? He'd have his mom body slam him on some thumbtacks, because why not? Fuck it. Darby Allin. But seriously, young man, congratulations. Wish you well.
So, Do you know what his wife's career is? Do you know this?
No, I have no. I don't know who his wife is. Who is she?
So now, according to the Google, when I was looking at this, she's an ICU nurse.
No shit.
How
Maybe,
fitting for Darby
maybe,
Allin.
maybe that's how they met. You know, maybe it was like,
No
hey,
kidding, right?
it's like, hey, I do crazy shit, so that is insane. So, well, congratulations to the new Mr. and Mrs. Darby Allin. How cool of it too! Look at this fucking wedding photo. He's got Sting and DDP at his wedding. Like, that's awesome, man. Congratulations, Darby, man. We want to wish you well with your new missus. This I want to talk about. AJ Styles' son Avery made his pro wrestling debut. I know it's his first matchup, but fuck, this kid looks like he can live up to the AJ Styles name already. I mean, did you see the spot that he recreated like his dad did? He did it picture perfect, where he slides underneath the guardrail, does a springboard, does a phenomenal forearm. I swear to God, I thought I was watching AJ Styles from TNA in 2004. Like, Avery, young man, you got some big shoes to fill, but you have the look, and already in your first matchup, man, you look pretty phenomenal. No pun intended. But I'm stoked to see what this young man's going to do, because I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. He looks like $1 million here, man, too. So congratulations to Avery on your debut, and can't wait to see what you got in store in the world of pro wrestling. And keep him with happy stories. Let's talk about this lovely, wonderful woman here, Martha Hart. Of course, the founder of the Owen Hart Foundation, who they do so much to help out Calgarians. Did I say that right? She was recently awarded the Calgarian Award of the Year for just doing so many outstanding deeds to help the community. The Owen Hart Foundation does so many great things to help out those in need. It's amazing that they were able to turn a tragedy, and that was Owen's passing, and to let his legacy live on in this foundation that does so many great things, and still makes contributions to the world of pro wrestling, because we get the wonderful Owen Hart Foundation tournaments every year in all elite wrestling. So truly, congratulations to this amazing woman. She does deserve it, man. There's like, between this and the Darby's story, my heart is just filled with joy. I don't think I can get any more joyous than, oh, wait a minute, it gets better. This fucking bitch may get fucking I just love it. I can't even speak.
So
Linda
hold
McMahon.
on. Let's let history speak for itself. Never in history
Never in history has this happened.
has it even been
Talked about.
brought
It's
never
never been a thing. This is how fucking inadequate this woman is. And I know this isn't wrestling per se, but obviously, and we obviously don't talk about the Fed. But this is just too good not to talk about. The fact that there is talks that Linda McMahon could be impeached. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But God, I'd love to see it, because this bitch has done nothing but just as part of the, and we don't want to get political. Believe what you want to believe. But we are firm believers in good and bad. And you can't tell me in that fucking regime how fucking awful and despicable and deplorable human beings they are, like, that this fucking bitch doesn't deserve to get fucking disowned and kicked out and impeached. It's so fitting. She's a terrible fucking human being, along with the rest of her fucking family, along with the fucking, like, I'm sorry. I could go on and on, but that's another. It does comfort me to see that this could possibly happen. Will it happen? Probably not. But fuck, if it did, it's like a win is a win, right? And we need to win more now than ever. So, fuck you, Linda McMahon. Fuck you and fuck your family. You all can go rot in hell. That being said, let's go to Brian with Brian's random moment of the week here on PW60. Fuck the McMahon.
Back again. Random moment of the week. And yeah, What a weekend in wrestling between TNA, AEW, WWE, Sami Zayn winning the world title, the actual WWE title. Absolutely amazing. So much more. All right, so for my random moment of the week, I don't want to talk about the present. I want to look back in the past, which can go into the present a little bit if you want to. And this thought I've had before, I've asked this before a few years back. And looking at and thinking about different, as you would say, big men in pro wrestling, I want to know, who are your top 5 big men in the history of wrestling? And by big men, it could be somebody who's over 7 foot tall, someone like a Sid Vicious. He's in my top 5, I think. Pretty close. You got The Undertaker, people like that, Kane, other ones. But of course, you also have the ones who maybe aren't as tall, but a lot bigger, like the quote unquote super heavyweights, like Vader, Bam Bam Bigelow, and they're probably 1A, 1B for me, or, somewhere in that top. They're definitely in top 5 for me. But I want to know who you've got as your top 5 big men in the history of wrestling across all companies from the very beginning all through now. Is there anybody now, currently, in any promotion that you would put in the top 5? And if so, tell me why. All right, gotta go. Bye.
That's a great question. I can tell you right off the bat, for me, Fader and Bam Bam Bigelow and Yokozuna are my first 3. But leave us a comment. Let us know who your favorite.
Remember when I was new to wrestling and someone asked me that question and I answered it on TikTok and
Did you say Braun Strowman?
No. Maybe I just said 5 names I knew.
Well, leave us a comment. Let us know who your favorite big men are. It's a great question. As we're rounding out the show here, got a couple more tidbits we want to share with you. Of course, this is a pretty cool one. AEW has announced that they will have the last match, a pro wrestling rock experience, that will take place during All In weekend. If you're not familiar, they're, I believe this is somewhat affiliated with, there's that musical that Cardona did a couple years ago, the last match, right? And I think that's kind of what this is.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing.
But AEW is going to present it. So that's really cool, man. So that's awesome to see, especially when you see pro wrestling in a different light, different avenue, if you will. So that's pretty badass. So be interesting to see. Yeah. Also, we want to talk about this. CMLL and New Japan and their partnership announcing Lucha Kingdom will be coming to CMLL on November the 16th this year. So
that's my birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to B-Roll. You get to watch some Lucha Kingdom with CMLL and New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's going to be an awesome time. But that partnership, along with New Japan's other many partnerships, just showing the great things that they can produce and put out there. And our last story this week, I feel like, man, I hate, it seems like these past weeks we've lost so many great wrestlers, and we've lost another great one. Joe Doring has sadly passed away. If you're not familiar with Joe Doring was a tremendous wrestler in Japan, had a lot of success, multiple-time tag team champion in All Japan, a 2-time Triple Crown winner in All Japan Pro Wrestling as well. I got to think about this B-Roll because I was telling you about him, and I realized we did get to see Joe Doring in person once before because he was part of that faction in TNA, Violence is Forever, with Eric Young. And when we went to that show where we got to see the Briscoes win the tag titles at Under Siege, Joe Doring was on that show. So we did actually get to see him in person. But man, oh man, tremendous. His story it's so rough too, because he's such a tremendous wrestler, and then getting signed to TNA and people kind of discovering him. He was a guy that was ahead of his time and then some. Tough guy too, because his career got cut short because he did have brain cancer. Had beat it 2 times prior to being re-diagnosed with it again, and of course that is ultimately what took his life. So the pro wrestling world is saddened, and we're at a loss of words for losing such a great competitor. We here at PW60, we want our well wishes to the Doring family, and thank you so much for sharing such a talented talented wrestler with us over the years. Do yourself a favor, look him up, watch some of his amazing matches throughout the years in Japan as well as in TNA wrestling too. A tremendous wrestler, like I say, who was way ahead of his time, and we lost him way too soon. Rest in peace, Joe Doring. All right. Supersized episode of PW60. We covered everything that happened these past couple weeks in the world of pro wrestling. We got so much more up ahead. G1 Climax is getting ready to start. We got AEWs. We're now on the road technically to All In. So many amazing independent wrestling shows. So much more. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Xlj the Og. This is Mr. B-Roll. We'll see you next time on another episode of PW60. Everybody take care. Have an amazing week, everybody. Bye.